Welcome to Between the Lines. I'm going to bet that tonight, just betting, September 1st at 7 o'clock, the majority of our audience is going to be women. I'm just saying. We're kind of compete with the UT football game, but we're on tape, so we want to go ahead and get it on there. People will watch it all week long. We get more viewers afterwards. But live tonight, we're going to talk about County Commission today, the changes. It's September 1st, and we had more changes in Anderson County, big change today in Knox County, and it's just changing. It's kind of exciting. First one I've been to in 12 years today at the Anderson County Courthouse. My obligatory visit, even though I enjoyed it very much. My wife got sworn in as a county commissioner. And our guest tonight, Shelly Vandagriff, is a new county commissioner from the Andersonville area. And we're going to talk a little about welcome. We were going to do this last week. And I've known Shelly for about 4 or 5 months, and we've done different things. And both of us are friends with Victoria Bowling. I know Victoria's new judge just got sworn in. We're going to go over the list of people, talk about some trends, and I'm going to talk a little bit, and we'll see what's going on. We do always in the first 12 minutes. We're going to talk about her family and where you come from and how you grew up. So you're a third or fourth generation Andersonville area person?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me where you grew up.
I actually grew up in the Fairview community next to Fairview
right
Elementary School.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember one of my friends, good friend, I can't remember her name right now, but she was the principal there for years at Fairview.
Yes.
And you,
Ragsdale?
Yes, Miss Ragsdale.
Miss Ragsdale,
don't be afraid to tell me. Patty, right?
Patty Ragsdale,
yeah, I knew her husband, Herb. Yes. She was she did a lot of work. She was a hard worker.
Yes.
And they had a real challenge in those days. Well, okay, so you grew up, siblings. Just tell your story. Just tell me a little bit about it.
So I did grow up close to Fairview Elementary School with my mom and dad, and I have one brother and 5 sisters.
Lord,
so a very large,
okay.
very
so where
large
do you
family.
fall in the 6?
I'm actually the oldest.
Wow. Okay. And you graduated from Anderson County High School.
I did. Graduated from Anderson County High School.
Walking out there, watching you campaign and visiting out there for some all kinds of people I helped. A lot of people knew you.
Yes.
Early voting, there were a lot of people that knew. Your name is pretty famous out there. I know when I talked to our good friend Swisher, what a great job he did.
Yes,
in
great job.
And he's a force for the future. So Mr. Swisher, and I know Josh Anderson, the top vote getter in Anderson County, and a lot of people we were well known out there.
Yes.
And it was great. Okay, okay. So you grew up that close to Fairview. And you went to school and you graduated from Anderson County High School.
Yes, sir.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated in 1991.
That's a long time ago.
It is.
I graduated 18 years earlier, but it's still a long time ago. So Anderson County was pretty new. What year? Were you there the first year?
I was not there the first year. I believe the first year.
Keith was there the first year.
My husband was probably there the first year. He may have been I believe.
Maybe it's 81, not 91. Maybe I'm a decade back. They kind of roll by for me. That's it. All right. So in 91, you went to AC, and tell me a little bit about a family. When did you get married?
Me and my husband got married in 1999.
Let me do that math real quick. Okay, that's a good age.
23 years.
And you have 3 children.
We do. We have 3 children. Our oldest is Carson, and he's 19 years old.
Okay.
Just graduated from TCAT with a welding degree. Our next oldest is Lily, and she is 18.
Okay.
We just dropped her off Saturday at Wofford College in Spartanburg, South Carolina.
Lily, I know you're going to look at this eventually. I remember when I played college basketball. When I went, it was just like all of a sudden my whole world changed. But you're there to study, and you're really smart, and just get through it. It'll get better and better and better, but it's hard for children.
Oh, it is.
And
it's hard for adults.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Wait till Caleb goes somewhere. Oh, Lord have mercy. It's going to be a disaster at my house.
Yeah.
Good thing we got 19 animals. She'll be able to get through it. But she is a mama's boy. She loves him, and he loves her. Not the dad doesn't weigh a little bit, but, I get it. So is Lily and your third one, Sylvia, are they alike?
They are actually complete opposites. Lily is very outgoing. Sylvia is more introspective, a little bit of an introvert.
She did clarify who she was to me today in the courthouse. And she said, I couldn't. They look a little bit alike. I couldn't.
They do. They do look a lot
Obviously,
alike.
one's smaller, and I just wasn't thinking because of the face. And Carson? He's the oldest. That makes him mama's boy.
He is definitely a mama's boy.
Oldest always are, et cetera, et cetera.
He is.
Okay. Which one tags around with dad?
Probably probably Carson a little bit more.
Than the girls?
Or maybe Sylvia.
Yeah. The youngest girl usually is the daddy. Yeah,
she likes to help on our farm.
You have
with
a
her
farm.
dad.
Let's talk about the farm. How big's the farm?
Yes. So we just live on 3 acres, but my
That's a lot for a city people.
But my in-laws own about 80 acres right across the street from us. So my husband farms that with my father-in-law.
How does he have any time? That guy goes out all day long, and I'm going to say this to Dave Bowen here tonight. Victoria's husband is probably the greatest campaigner I'd ever seen. I mean,
absolutely.
Is he something, that guy?
Absolutely.
He works all day for TVA, and he gets out there and he goes.
Yes.
Victoria or somebody get tired, and he said, "Come on!" It's he's like Stonewall Jackson in the church.
Absolutely.
What a great guy he is. But I won't say I think Keith worked just as hard. Concrete all day. Contracting, comes home, works all day on this, and then he's got to get on the farm too.
Yes. I can't say enough about him. God really blessed me when
he's a great guy.
He brought that man in my life.
There were some good spouses, and I'm telling you, I've been in this business for 40 years, and you can't. It gets too hard when you don't have the support of your spouse.
Yes.
They may not work with you, but they need to be emotionally supportive and do things, etc. And we saw a lot of spouses who did a great job. Sabre said I was 21st. I don't know what that means. She said there were 20 spouses better than me. I thought, well, that's the way it works. I said, well, that's a great life. And what do you farm?
We have goats, mainly. Okay. We raise Kiko goats. We have a few cows, a couple horses.
No crops?
And no
That makes it a little
crops.
easier.
Right, just a small garden, family garden.
Be out there doing tobacco on that size spot, that's for sure. All right, that's fantastic.
We raised tobacco when Keith and I first were married.
That's hard work.
It very, very, very hard work.
You got to get down in the heart of Alabama, Mississippi. You understand how hard that can be.
That's how he bought my wedding ring, was through the proceeds from the tobacco farming.
That's all right. That's a good guy. I mean,
it
don't get no better than that. I mean, I'm serious.
Very hard worker. Yeah. Very hard worker.
I'd be shuffling stocks or something, trying to figure something out. I don't know. We had a very simple one, and then last year was our 12th or 13th anniversary last year. I'll pay for that. And at 13, and you know what? I bought a nice ring. We didn't have enough money to buy a really nice one then.
Yes.
So it's important.
Yes.
I didn't have any tobacco. But anyway, that's exciting. Tell me more about. So growing up, you like the land, you like the area. So you've never lived anywhere for any length of time.
No. I've always lived in the 3rd District, basically, in Fairview, and then when Keith and I married, we moved out behind Anderson County High School into the Glen Alpine community. So I've always pretty much lived right there in the 3rd District.
And the Glen Alpine, you were there for a while, and then you moved back to.
No, we still live in the Glen Alpine community.
But you're not in a neighborhood thing. You're back.
No, we're not. No,
I misunderstood. Okay. That's great. I mean, that sounds like the kids have loved living out there.
Yes, our kids love living on the farm.
I know my good friend Judge Spitzer's moving, and he's more space. Kids need more space. They do a lot of stuff.
Yes.
He did a wonderful job today, didn't
he? He did.
Didn't he?
He did.
He did a wonderful job. So let's talk about. I went in there and I got the impression. I took a picture of everybody. I got pictures of everybody. I just said, probably 140. And I got the impression that it was like a new county. It was younger. I'd say the average age of judges used to be 68 or 70. Now it's 48. Look at the commissioners. We now have 4 women instead of 2.
Yes.
And we have some other things. So it really was, it just felt good. It felt new, like it was an exciting time.
Very exciting today.
Like when you start college. That's for you, Lily. Or when you start other things, you get everybody together, and it's just kind of exciting.
Yes.
And I just thought it was good. I thought I would be there and go through the normal stuff I'm used to, but I thought it was good. And it looks like let's talk about new commissioners. So you're a new commissioner in 3. We have 2 new ones in 2.
In 2, yes.
And Michael Foster and
Denise Palmer.
And Denise Palmer, that's right. And then we have Tyler Mays, who's, even though he's been active in government, he's new in the commission.
Yes.
Father-in-law, took his father-in-law's place. So we got new ones there. 5 stayed the same. 4 stayed the same.
Yes.
2 new ones and 7.
Yes.
My wife, Sabre,
right.
Your buddy, and Varant. And I talked to him a little bit today. I think he's going to be good. And then we have, in the 6th, we have Anthony Allen's new. That's right. And in the 8th, we got those same 2 guys.
Yes.
I like them a lot. I really do. They're really competent. I mean, Phil Yeager's one of the smartest, most well-thought-out, balanced guys that we have ever had on commission. We've had some good ones. And to see Jerry Creasy today just made me feel really good. You probably don't know Jerry as well as we do, but he was on 40 years.
Wow,
Yeah,
40
from
years.
82 to now. And he's a neighborhood treasure.
Yes.
I mean, he's just done a wonderful job. But I felt good today. Did you feel good?
Yes, I felt great.
Yeah,
I felt
swearing
great.
in was good?
It was very good. It was very special because
Not uncomfortable for anybody, I didn't think.
No, it was very special. My mom was able to be there with me, and she was a huge asset to my campaign also.
Yeah.
And of course, Keith, my husband, and our youngest daughter, Sylvia.
Yeah.
Our other children had to work, or again, we're off at college. So.
Yeah. That's fantastic. So why politics? I'm sure Keith asks that question about every other day. But
he does.
Why
he
politics?
does.
Why get
he
involved?
Does. Well, really, for me, it's just I've always been involved everywhere that my kids have been. I've
like
served.
Schools and stuff like
yes,
that.
I loved morning math at Andersonville Elementary. I was very blessed to be able to help with that. NAGAF, I've served as the secretary there since 2002, I guess.
NAGAF is the sports stuff that goes on out in North
Yes, it's
Anderson,
the little
you have to go
league.
down over the little bridge and in the back, yeah.
Yes,
My son
yes.
played football there once.
Yes.
guess
Of
NAGAF
course, when they moved into high school wrestling, my daughter Lily was always very active with veterans breakfast.
Yeah, I've gotten to know her. She's very active, very great kid. I mean,
Yes,
just
yes.
super kid.
And,
when you get that active, you miss it. You know, that's part of it. Yeah.
Yes. And National Day of Prayer, she helped with that in Anderson
Yeah.
County, and Little Ponderosa.
And you're a member of Bethel Baptist.
Yes, sir.
I've been
Bethel
there a
Baptist.
few times because when they were talking about building the rock quarry, we were always huddled up
Yes,
at Bethel Baptist.
yes, right
we were
there.
huddled up at Bethel Baptist. So.
Right there next door to the quarry, yes.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, right, just turn right. Mm-hmm. And the quarry never reopened, did it?
No.
No, that was a victory. Rex fought hard against that, but it was really just the trucks that were the problem, I think, more than there was 200-300 trucks. And I really have a lot of respect for Roger's group, but that got to be too convoluted,
Yes.
I think, et cetera. So, but that's in the past. All right, so you're interested in politics. You see it more as an opportunity to serve your area, District 3.
Absolutely. Just with my children growing up and pursuing their own endeavors, it just freed up a little bit of time for me.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, I think I want to become involved and serve our community on a county level.
Well, we were excited to have you because I think you kind of, not to minimize your role, but you typify kind of the new version of what we're trying to do.
Yes.
You know, and you got that roots in the community and involvement and everything. And it was apparent after the primary that you were really well liked and strong, a lot of votes. And I don't like the voting system. We'll talk about that when I come back. Let's take a 2-minute break and get our sponsors and the services we provide.
Other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
DEPR.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale.
Bipolar?
Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment.
Anxiety. I thought so.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
What if one day you went to your secret hiding place and instead of what you came for, you found this? What would you do? The truth is, all drug use comes with risk. Before drugs take their toll on you and your family, know that there is help. You can quit. If you or someone you love is struggling with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/knowtherisks.
Hello, I'm District Attorney General Dave Clark. My fellow DAs and I successfully fought for new elder abuse laws and procedures that have police departments and agencies using improved tools to protect our seniors. Victims of elder abuse are often unable to recognize or report abuse themselves. They need your voice. If you suspect abuse, contact local law enforcement or Adult Protective Services. Let's work together to protect our seniors.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
talking with County Commissioner Shelly Vandagriff, who's newly elected, sworn in today, and representing the Andersonville, Fairview, Norris, and Glen Alpine areas.
Yes.
And that's a big challenge. Probably the biggest voting area. It wasn't this year, for sure.
Definitely. There was about 25% of the total vote of Anderson County came from the 3rd District.
And the May 3rd, Victoria Boeing drove some votes.
Absolutely.
I've never seen that many people
Absolutely.
vote. And that was really a big kicker in the election. It was just, she worked hard everywhere, but, you know, and I want everybody, she's the oldest judge left in Anderson County. So we're going to call her, you know, Mother Bowling, or we'll figure out some kind of name for her. But she's a great lady, compassionate. Everywhere we went, she'd been involved. Where you know, Emory Valley Center, other places, everybody knew her. She'd been active in the community, very generous.
Her daughter, Jordan, and my daughter.
I saw them today.
Also, they were friends in high school.
Okay.
They're different ages, but they competed, or they were in 4-H together.
Yeah.
So a lot of events. We would see each other, and that's...
Yeah, I got to know Jordan and Madison a little bit on the campaign trail. They're
Yes.
nice kids, and they do well. I mean,
Yes.
they're very successful. Madison back to graduate school, right?
Absolutely,
I mean, that's good.
yes.
All right. So when you were 18 years old, you didn't say, gosh, I'm going to be a county commissioner. So you said
No.
it came along in the service and everything else and what you're doing. What needs to change in your area? What would you like to do?
Our end of the county is the fastest growing
That's true.
Of Anderson County.
Okay.
And we really, affordable housing or housing
Yeah.
is something that's a real need in our area. I think I heard today that 7 out of every 10 people who work in Anderson County don't live in Anderson County, so I
Isn't
think
that
we need
interesting?
some.
That's the plants, but yeah, I get
Right,
it.
well-
But that's also the stuff up there, you know. I mean, if in the city, if you worked in Knoxville, Andersonville is pretty close. I mean, we're used to driving 30 or 40 miles in a Pittsburgh, Cleveland, New York, or somewhere. So, and it's an easy drive.
Yes.
So I think you're right. I think a lot of people live out on those areas. What's the fastest growing? Andersonville?
Probably the Andersonville and the interchange there at I-75.
Where do they vote?
And they vote in the Glen Alpine
Yeah,
district.
that thing's gotten big,
Yes,
6, 7.
yes.
Glen Alpine is just below the interstate, where Anderson County High School and those areas are. That's Glen Alpine. Where does Glen Alpine name come from?
The school, there used to be I guess, 1st through 8th grade, and
Okay.
maybe at one point it was actually all 12 grades. There was a school there where the Buddy's Barbecue is now. It's
Yeah.
kind of set back on the hill,
Right.
and its name was Glen Alpine.
What about roads? Do we have enough roads to meet the needs in Andersonville and the growing population, or do we need more?
I think we need some more roads. We need some more traffic control.
Okay.
I think one of the
That's a state thing, pretty much. You're talking about
It
lights
is.
or what?
Yes, lights. There's a specific intersection, and that requests a lot.
So you would be interested in maybe getting the road department some more money to do county and state road? That would be a
Absolutely.
priority for you.
Absolutely. And
Sewers,
working with the state.
infrastructure keeping up?
There are some infrastructure issues in Norris with the sewer system, a storm drain system.
I heard that. We were talking about appropriating $200,000 to help them
for
with it or
that.
something.
Yes.
And they're in the mix of trying to find a new city manager. They've had to raise the price. Nothing's
Yes.
cheap anymore.
No,
But you know, if
no.
you go to Norris, you'd be hard pressed not to live there. It's such a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful
It's a little
town.
cottage town. It's just the best.
Absolutely.
I used to
a
love
beautiful,
Norris when I was a kid.
Beautiful town.
Go up to the dam and visit, and
Yes.
just a lot of good stuff going on.
Very welcoming, very homey, very welcoming
Yeah,
community.
and culturally, it's very opposite Andersonville, Fairview.
Yes.
Makes the district interesting. You know, it's
Yes.
you know, you go from a Fontana Village type, Gatlinburg type town, and the Gatlinburg 40 years ago, and then you move over here in Andersonville, and you just got Tennessee farmland.
Well, Norris being in the planned community with
Yeah,
TVA.
federal government. That's right. Very good.
How it got its start, kind of a unique history there.
We had the chief of police from Oak Ridge was on last week, and he was a TVA police officer for years before he went back to Sevierville and then back to Oak Ridge as a chief. And he was telling us a little bit how it's changed, and pretty interesting. Norris Dam's in your district.
Yes, it is.
I don't know how role we'd have with that, but I mean, there's a lot to do up there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, some of it's state land,
Yes.
federal land, depends on where you are, et cetera, et cetera. People think of it in the Norris community. All right, so You're divided up into 4 basic areas. This Anderson County High School, then you got Fair. What are the industries that you work for? One of the industries that's thrived up there. You work for Ison.
I do. I work for
Korean
Ison.
Automotive.
It's Japanese automotive.
All my friends in Tokyo, I apologize. But we drive Kias in our house, so I'm always thinking Seoul, Korea.
Yes.
Good cars.
Yes. Good
And
cars.
don't say anything, you're going to get in trouble. So the question is, you make parts, you ship them to assembly plants or whatever, right?
Yes. We make automotive components.
How many
components.
employees out there?
Right now, we're probably around 745 or
700?
Yes, 745 employees.
Somebody's working in the district.
Yes.
I don't know where they're living, but they're working here.
Again, 7 out of 10 pretty much work.
How many shifts is that?
Manufacturing works 2 shifts. They work 2 12-hour shifts.
Okay.
Some of the other support departments
So they work 3.5 days.
3 8-hour shifts.
Interesting.
Yes.
Is manufacturing safe in 12-hour shifts? You're a control person,
I am a quality control. I'm the quality control manager.
Yes.
For them. I've been with them for 17 years.
You like working for a Japanese company?
I do.
I heard a lot of good things about it. Georgetown, Kentucky,
yes,
different places.
We send parts to Georgetown.
Yeah.
One of the places.
What kind of
Alabama.
parts do you make?
We make water pumps, oil pumps, oil pans.
I remember when Ison first came, had about 200 employees. I was there when I was working in development helping out probably 20 years ago, I guess, when the Japanese development people came in from Japan.
So we're a sister plant to the London, Kentucky facility.
All right. And what does London do? Is it named Ison too?
Yes, Ison.
Where does Ison come from? What's that name?
Actually, they're owned by a company called Ison Seiki, and they are in Korea City in Japan.
What kind of city?
Korea City is the name of the city.
There it is. I'm off the hook. That's all. So Eagle Bend was used in the old days out in the industrial park?
Yes.
Different park.
They're in
You're up all the way, that's right.
Yeah, we're on the Frank L. Diggs Drive.
We are, yeah. That's great. That's fantastic. 700 plus employees? Anybody near that size up there?
I don't really think so. SL, I don't believe is that many employees.
700. And you still hiring?
Yes.
No, everybody is. I'm just bringing that up.
Absolutely. We are still hiring.
Nice. So you just get online or you don't come by the building?
You can. If you would like, you can come to the building. We have applications outside. You can drop them off in our Dropbox. We actually have online. You can go online and
that is fun. That is great.
and apply.
Okay, so we look at the overall county. We move you out of District 3 because in the end, you got to help everybody.
Absolutely.
I don't want you to respond to this. I'm just going to make my pitch. I did it with the chief police here. Watch debt. I mean, we're doing well. We're flush with money, but we're $60 million in debt. And I'm not interested in building a justice center that costs $50 million or $60 million. No answer. So I'm just saying that. Now, I said last week, put 5 stories up there, put glitter on the building. I don't care. Just don't come to get the Oak Ridge Court. That's what I tell everybody because it's such. Chief and I were laughing about it because it's so valuable to us.
Yes.
But there's a lot of capital spending, and I think it's going to be interesting for you. And I know you have a budget interest because you're a budget person at work.
Yes.
You bring something like Phil Yeager, you bring some skills to the table. And so when you get in there and you look at it, it's going to be interesting where we spend our capital investment.
Yes.
And I come from the background that government's purpose is to do infrastructure, sewer, roads, things of that nature. The jail's not full, so I can get into that another time. But it's interesting because Oak Ridge produces about 50% of the revenue for school, everything, and yet they only use a couple of things. Like they use the jail, they use the ambulance service, and the feedback. So those 6 commissioners, I think, have a vested interest in trying to make sure Oak Ridge is treated fairly. But I do think there's a higher priority to Andersonville and Claxton and places like that. So. What did you think after one day? What do you know what committees you want to be on? Any of that?
I think I would like to be on the budget committee.
That makes sense with your background.
I would like to really try to get in there and make a difference, see where our money's going. Of course.
Somebody needs to ask questions. That's right.
And ask
and they
questions.
may all be going the right way.
Questions.
But you don't know until you ask.
Right. I do like to ask questions, so I think I'll be doing plenty of that.
Yeah, you have company. So, and that's great. So you got all the department. Have you met the department heads? Do you know anybody yet?
I do know a few of them. I've met Robbie Holbrook of the
Robbie's
finance.
a great guy.
Yes.
Robbie's been there for years.
Yes.
And he worked for the greatest budget director in Anderson County. No offense to Dale Isabel, but Gail Cook was just in another league of her own, even at county and the city. She retired this year. But she was CPA, came in, did a great job. Dale did a good job for 20 years. But I think Robbie matured into the job, and I think Robbie was there. I want to say Robbie was payroll back 20 years ago. But Robbie's good. He's doing a good job. And he's very accommodating to people. He's very down to earth. How about, well, you know Gary Long.
Gary Long. I know
road
Gary Long.
superintendent,
Yes, yes.
And Rex Lynch is doing circuit
Rex
court.
Lynch,
They're
yes.
highly visible guys, been there forever.
Yes, yes.
And there are some other departments, though, that are interesting. If you look at the dollars, the EMS is important. The ambulance
yes.
service is important. I remember the first time, with no offense to the ambulance service, I went up to New River. You see what I did, Keith? I went up there, and they took me up there. My wife took me up to New River, and I called all my buddies from Pittsburgh, Chicago, where I said, if you don't hear from me in 3 hours, if I don't call you back, send to everybody. Send to everybody. But it was a wonderful experience. I just heard a lot about New River. So it was a wonderful experience, and got to be good friends with all those people. That's salt of the earth. That's great,
Absolutely.
people. You talk
Yes.
people know how to work.
Yes.
New River knows how to work. It's great. We're going to take another break. Take a couple, 3 minutes.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. A My Social Security account allows you to access your earnings history and benefits information, request a replacement Social Security card, get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
This is my husband, Alex Hussey. Alex is about 2 weeks away from coming home.
I was playing man in foot patrol, and I stopped on the bomb. Lost my legs and my left hand in an explosion.
And he suffered a severe traumatic brain injury.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
There are so many mountains to climb, and we do it together.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
To watch Alex take on this mountain, that's what this is all about.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Alex has conquered this mountain. That's something he won't forget.
With the right support, there are no limits.
Look at that smile! You did it!
But there's more to be done, and more victories to be won.
This has meant so much.
Thank you, DAV.
Alex Hussey, thank you for your service. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
We should never lose sight of our health. To keep moving forward, let's not forget everything we've learned. Limit the salty food options. Make your own daily exercise routine. And always receive regular checkups. More than anything, we have learned how important these small steps can make a big difference. So we can all continue to move forward together.
Hello, I'm District Attorney General Dave Clark. My fellow DAs and I successfully fought for new elder abuse laws and procedures that have police departments and agencies using improved tools to protect our seniors. Victims of elder abuse are often unable to recognize or report abuse themselves. They need your voice. If you suspect abuse, contact local law enforcement or adult protective services. Let's work together to protect our seniors.
Thank you for watching Between the Lines. It's Thursday night, September 1st. Vols are ahead 10-0 in the first quarter, by the way. We want to thank Congressman Chuck Fleischman for sponsoring our show. He's just a great congressman, and he does a lot for our community, and just does very well here. He always gets 75-80% of the vote. People like him. He's very accessible, and he's a good friend to me. Let's talk about education. Well, I did a lot of polling in the last month, and there is just this real split between red and blue, which we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about why is the sport? Usually you get about a 10% bleed over, right? But when I look at Democrats, which are probably 60% women, they vote 98% this year that are leaning towards Democrat. I go Republican, 96%. There's nobody in the middle because they got, the national news and everything's dictated to where there's not much room for negotiation and talk. Education is one of those areas. Tennessee has pushed for vouchers. They pushed for, credits. What word am I missing here? Anyway, I always do it. My wife kids me, but they get the voucher and they go and they get credit and they go to a private school. That starts this year. I don't know how much it is. But we have to have public education. It's a necessity for people. And even though I think a lot of us like the idea of Christian education and, wish our kids could pray in school and things, I think the reality is we still need the ABCs and we want them to get things done. So we have to keep our system strong. So we have schools, you know more about it than I do, but we have schools all over the district. Let's start with District 1. There's plans in Claxton, is that true?
Plans in Claxton to build a elementary school.
Okay. Now, what's going to happen to the old one? Is it going to be on the same site?
No, my understanding is that they're looking at a different site at this time.
It's kind of a dangerous place.
I believe parts of the Claxton Elementary School are somewhere around 100 years old. So
I was not there at that time. Keith, I'm going to go on record. I didn't attend during those years. Go ahead.
Yes. So, there's a need there for a new school in that district.
Okay, so that's in the planning books, on the CIP, schools. What a great superintendent we have.
Tim Parrott, yes, Dr. Parrott.
I like Dr. Parrott. He's down to earth.
Yes.
He's just a guy who can talk to everybody.
He is.
He doesn't. If he needs 2 apples, he doesn't ask for 4.
Exactly.
That's my kind of guy. So I really like Tim Parrott. He's underappreciated, I would say.
Yes.
Pushing for a raise, Tim. So Claxton needs an elementary school. What about their middle school? Do they have a middle school still?
They would go to Clinton Elementary.
Okay, so that's the only school in the first is elementary school, and it is a big one. There's some growth there, but they're landlocked a little bit there. That's right.
Yes.
Going out right.
Edgemore and 61.
So in Clinton, all AC schools they don't have the 3 elementary schools. They have Clinton Middle, Clinton High School. And Clinton Middle's pretty old, behind the courthouse. I don't know anybody heard anything about Clinton?
I don't have any information.
I noticed when I was looking at Mayor Burton's record that they put away $20,000 a year for capital improvements in the Clinton schools. Not that that's a lot, but it's a good gesture. And I say that only because I know you'll have relationships with the schools, and you might be able to get with Parrott and figure out ways to help on that. So, but we'll skip over to it. And you're an Anderson County person, so we don't want to spend too much time on Clinton High School.
Exactly.
While we're on that, tomorrow night at the stadium, Oak Ridge High School plays Clinton High School in football. Clinton hasn't won, and they never win more than about once a decade, but this coach has done a good job over there, and he's really got them motivated. A lot of people think Clinton will win. They'll win this game. They got a quarterback, that's for sure. Anyway, so we got Clinton. So we move out to your area, which you'll know the most about. Where are your schools at? What do they need?
We have Fairview Elementary. Andersonville Elementary.
Now, Fairview's pretty old school.
Actually, they just built this new school.
Oh, that's right. That's a couple years ago.
Right. I went to the old school.
You did?
The old Fairview Elementary.
Yeah, I remember it. You drove right in front of it. It was right there. You get out your car, you're in the door. But a great school. How far is the new one from the old one?
It was built behind the old
goes
one.
Down that hill there. So, and it's nice.
Yes.
And your kids went to the new one?
My kids actually went to Andersonville Elementary.
Forget that. That's right. So we get into Fairview. Now, Fairview got the new elementary school. Where do they go to middle school?
They go to Norris Middle School.
All of your district goes to middle, except Glen Alpine.
Yes. Yeah. There's no Glen Alpine Elementary. It's just Fairview, Norris, and
see, I'm learning. Okay, so
Andersonville.
Now, so we talked about Fairview. What's Andersonville's situation?
The last time I talked to Dr. Parrott, they still had a little room for growth.
What does that mean? It means you can expand the building?
They actually could accommodate more students.
Okay.
And
is Fairview full already?
No, when I talked to Dr. Parrott, they also had some spots available. Norris was pretty much at capacity.
That's because everybody's coming there.
Right.
That's right. So, so you go to Norris. What if I live in Fairview and I want to go to Norris? Do I pay a premium?
No, you could just apply for a transfer if there was spots available.
That's right. If there's not spots, and they kind of line them up. So that's where that's at. I know that Nikki Swisher teaches there. She's a wonderful
she
person,
does.
and she does a great job. They're lucky to have her. Third grader? Third grade, I think
She taught at Andersonville when my children were there early on, and then she moved to Norris.
Okay.
So.
Okay. That's great. So, is there a Norris Middle School?
There is a Norris Middle School.
Is it in the same building on down?
No, it is on the Commons, in the Commons area.
What's that long building in the Commons?
That is the Norris Middle School.
And the elementary's down the hill in the back? Okay,
yes,
I've been there. It's a smaller area back down there. Okay. And what's the story on that school?
So they're actually expanding Norris Middle School now.
What does that mean? Back, front, left, right?
On the back.
Nowhere to go in the right?
No, there's not really anywhere to go.
You could go left if you did the parking lot a little different.
Right. So they're going behind their building. I believe, I can't remember the number of classrooms, but it's a significant expansion in the back.
Do you know how many kids go to that elementary school?
I don't.
Middle school, it's like 600, 700 or so?
Probably somewhere around that.
That's normal middle school in that range, 500 to 800, something like that. So you get out of Norris. Anything, and the kids that are in your Glen Alpine precinct across the interstate, where do they go?
So that's a little bit, zoning is a little different there. Yeah, strange there. Okay. So in the area that we live in, my kids were actually zoned for Andersonville, so we drove kind of almost past Norris to go to Andersonville.
That's right, you live in that area.
Right. Then there's a small group of kids around the Hillville area that would go to Norris, be zoned for Norris, and then Fairview kids would be zoned kind of between the river bridge and on up to the 441 interchange.
I pull out Golden Girls. I go about a block and I head up into, what's the name of that neighborhood? It's been there forever. A lot of homes.
Hunter's Trail.
Hunter's Trail. Where do they go to school?
I believe they go to Norris.
Okay. So at some point going down the road towards Hollingsworth stuff and all that, those neighborhoods, Alpine Village across from the Ford dealership, where would they go to school?
They could go to Andersonville or Norris, I believe, but behind Glen Alpine.
There's no Andersonville Middle School.
No.
They either go to Norris. When do you start going to Clinton now?
When you cross the river bridge.
Oh, you have to go all that way.
Yes.
All right. So that's a lot of land up there. That's okay. When does Glen Alpine's precinct? Is that where it breaks?
Yes.
Mountain Road was in your precinct?
Mountain Road, yes.
Lone Mountain, whatever?
Yeah, Lone Mountain is in District 1, I believe. And then,
I don't know who's drawing those lines.
It's
got a little bit crazy.
It was a little bit difficult
to go door to door.
Figure out because they had just redistricted everything. So
Claxton was a mess. I mean,
was.
People didn't get their notices on time and all that. But it's a difficult job for anybody. So you get out of 3 and you got some challenges there. What's Lake City? What do you hear in Lake City?
I'm not really sure about the schools in Lake City.
Yeah. They have a town there, but I think it's all part of the Anderson County system.
Yes,
there's no
yes, they
great
don't
stories
have another.
I call it Lake City. See, I'm already in trouble.
Yes.
But I'm just too old to call it Rocky Top, and it is Rocky Top.
Me too.
And it's just different. And we want to compliment our guy, Mr. Foster, the new commissioner from Quinn. He's doing a wonderful job up there. Lake City, they say good things about him, Michael. So. But they have an elementary school.
Yes.
I have a big middle school. We all go there to vote, and middle school on the way. And where's their elementary? Down.
I think there's a Lake City and Brownsville.
Is the middle school and the elementary in the same building, or is it down the hill?
No, they're separate. Yeah,
okay, I thought so. And so they're good. And the old Lake City High School got eaten up by Anderson County, so we're good.
Yes.
Now let's go up to Briceville. Briceville Elementary. What do you know about it?
I know some people that teach there, but that's really about the only thing.
I didn't know if they had any needs or you'd heard anything in the plans.
No.
Okay. A great school. They have outstanding reputation nationally and everywhere else. They've got some programs there that have made a difference. Okay, so we're moving across. We get over into Marlowe. We get into, I can't imagine Dutch Valley couldn't have 50 students. I mean, it's a small place. But it stayed open. It's done good. Norwood. Now, I know I had some friends go to Norwood. I was around Norwood, coached a little bit, did some. They've got a nice school down there, and they're right next to each other, elementary and middle school. But it just seems like that place is overcrowded, too. A lot of people down there. But I can't get a read on. I'm trying to define school needs because in the middle, the general fund, which you manage, which has, I don't know, it was $25 million 15 years ago. It's probably $40 million now or more. The school budget's $100 million or plus.
Yes.
and it's kind of interesting because only line item you can do is say yes or no on how much you give them. You can't. And that's school board's job, right?
Yes.
We have some good school board people.
Yes.
And so we get in there and they do that, and you can work with. Ms. Perry does a good job explaining that, et cetera, et cetera. So Norwood would be there, and that pretty much ends, I think, when you come around and go back over to Claxton after Oak Ridge.
Yes.
And Oak Ridge schools are in a world of their own. I went to those schools, and they're in a world of their own. Okay, so schools is a big thing you're going to have to look at the developments and make some decisions on. And I'll tell you what else. I was talking to Rex Lynch today, and we were talking about the Daniel Arthur building in Oak Ridge and needing some roof repairs and some windows and stuff. You got to look at that, I think, item by item. It's going to be a challenge.
Yes.
I think Oak Ridge's needs are different from the county. We need a top flight ambulance service. I don't know what's going on with the stations in Oak Ridge and what's expedient and what's not. But I would hate to think we wouldn't have 2 full operating stations here, but we don't. I think we have 1.5. And then I negotiated the deal. That's why I know it. We have some Roane County medical ambulance takes care of some of our West Anderson County Oak Ridge people. I know Kills area. So that was a long, long time ago. Ken Yeager and I put that together. So schools are big. We understand schools are big. What other areas of spending in government have you looked at? What do you think? Are you going to be a budget person? I'm kind of just picking at things because I don't know much about it, and you're just getting started.
Yes,
so.
I'm just getting started.
But I'm trying to remember back in the fleets. Let's talk about a department. Let's talk about 2 big departments. Let's talk about the jail and the sheriff's department. What do you hear? What do you think? Just guess.
Well, again, I think that's very important. Public safety is very important, and taking care of our community is very important.
No question. It's part of your charter.
Yes,
I think public safety is important.
Yes. And
you just got to make sure everything's managed right.
Right. We need to support our sheriff's department.
No question.
And fund them.
No question.
So
the question becomes that we fund them smartly.
Absolutely.
Smartly a word? I don't know. Is that a word?
Smartly.
Smarter. I think what we got is the sheriff's department it's always a challenge. And the jail's been a nightmare for 30 years. You know, they expand, they build. I can remember when I was in high school, college, the jail was up in the 3rd floor of the courthouse. So, and I heard today that they're remodeling the 3rd floor of the courthouse somewhere up there. They're putting in 4 rooms, a conference room, and 2 other things. Get ready, Keith. 2 other rooms up there for some space. 4 rooms, 10 by 15, whatever. 4 rooms up there, $1 million. That can't be right.
I hadn't heard that.
Well, look into that for me when you get there.
Okay.
I want you to take a look at that because I got that from somebody that works there who is an elected official. It said, we're spending money. Here, and we're going to talk when I come back. We're going to take another break for the last 10 minutes. But one thing you can look at and some of the other people can look at and budget or whenever is how funds are allocated because we have a wash of money coming in from different areas.
Yes.
And I will talk about that. You and me have talked about that in depth. Brad, you got 2 more minutes for me? Yeah. Okay, Chandler, let's go. We'll be back. Tennessee updates.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
DEPR.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale. Bipolar? Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment.
Anxiety. I thought so.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
What if one day you went to your secret hiding place and instead of what you came for, you found this? What would you do? The truth is, all drug use comes with risk. Before drugs take their toll on you and your family, know that there is help. You can quit. If you or someone you love is struggling with drug use, call 1-800-662-HELP for 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, or go to samhsa.gov/know-the-risks.
Hello, I'm District Attorney General Dave Clark. My fellow DAs and I successfully fought for new elder abuse laws and procedures that have police departments and agencies using improved tools to protect our seniors. Victims of elder abuse are often unable to recognize or report abuse themselves. They need your voice. If you suspect abuse, contact local law enforcement or adult protective services. Let's work together to protect our seniors.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
We're back live with Between the Lines. The Vols have been playing almost a quarter in an hour. They may not get out of there at 1 a.m. It's 17-0 UT late in the first quarter. Every day, the clock stops on every down. Anyway, we were talking about different things. Let's talk about your commissioners and the breakdowns and how y'all work together. I think it's got some good possibilities.
Absolutely.
You're sitting over with Catherine Denenberg. She's a treat, isn't she?
She is. I'm very excited about working with her.
Talk to her today. She's great.
I did get.
So we got Anthony, and then it goes around. We got Jerry White, and we got some, and you guys are over there.
Yes.
Sabres went over there with the other guys. She's left you over here, your buddy. That's the way it works. It's good to see Robert McCamey today.
Yes, I sat beside Catherine Denenberg and then Tim Isbell on the other side.
You're on which side are you on?
Yes, I'm on the side that Sabra sits on.
Oh.
So, yes.
Well, she's hiding between
Tracy
those two
Wandell
big guys.
And Phil Yeager. Yes.
That's a good side over there.
Yes.
That's fun.
They've all made me feel very welcome.
That's right. You did
welcome.
sit. You sat in between those. That is good.
Yes.
So committees meet regularly.
Yes.
Your operations committee does exactly what it says. It looks at the operations of the different governments.
Yes.
My good friend John Reagan, who is our state representative in the 33rd District, he's the chairman of the government ops. And every agency in the state has to go before them to get approved.
Yes.
So that is a really challenging job for him. But he does a good job. He's been, John was a fighter pilot, a commander of a base, and we don't have many people with this kind of experience in government. And I'm glad John is technically buttoned down and does some different things like that. Well, I think as you're quiet, but I think as you come through and people understand your skills, it won't just be backslapping and good stuff. You'll have a lot to offer and a lot to ask. So that's a good thing. So I really do. Let's go around. Let's take each person. And I think let's take the new ones. We don't need to go over the past. Mm-hmm. So you've got you, and you've got, and Tyler. Tyler's got some experience.
Yes.
Tyler will bring some experience to the table. And I really am high. I'm high on my buddy from Rocky Top. I just think he's going to do a great Foster.
Yes.
I think he's going to do a good job. He's one to get in there.
Yes.
He's got some things. He's very politically astute.
He's got some experience already.
And he's another one in my boat and others, and Keith, where the wife is smarter than he is. So Mrs. Foster's kind of like.
I've not had the opportunity to meet her yet.
Oh, she's a great lady. She's great. They got 3 kids. It's a great family. Michael's great. Michael went to UT when she did. But I mean, if you look at the quality of people that are getting the government, it's really family oriented. I mean, these are people who are getting a lot of support from different people.
Yes.
So I kept forgetting you were over there. So you're over with Vandenberg. Who else do you looking around that shares your interest? How about you and Josh? Let's talk about you and Josh for a second.
Yes.
Josh has been up there. He represents the Norris community really well.
Yes.
Not as well known in the other communities.
Yes.
But he survived.
Yes.
And that's another vote for 2. I mean, that's part of the system. And I appreciate Josh offering a proposal where you say, let's do an A and a B. I kind of like it. I think I always tell the story of when Walt Brown was mayor and he got Tim Stallings, his son's a golfer, and they got in there and there was a 1-vote difference, and they both voted for both. So if you voted for him, you lost your job in between those things. And that's a hard system. In Oak Ridge, we have the same system. 3 of the top 5. Well, why would you vote for anybody else besides yourself?
Exactly.
And if everybody's truthful, none of them vote for anybody else. The intermediate families and everybody goes out and single shop, but they can't tell the public that. But that's just an indication that the job that we need to change how we go about stuff. Community leaders, business, everything out in the 3rd District. Are you seeing growth in the retail side of things?
Yes, there is a lot of growth, especially kind of at that I-75 interchange. We've added some storefronts with this new Starbucks, which was.
I went over there one day. I liked it.
The new Starbucks, the new Betty's Barbecue, of course, the new Sonic. So we're getting a lot of those kind of a fast food.
I drive up there for Gondolier.
Yes.
And we just don't have any good Italian restaurants anywhere anymore.
No.
Even in Oak Ridge. You know, there's Dean's Restaurant's as good as restaurants there is in Tennessee.
Yes.
And, but if you don't get on right there or whatever, it's always big portions. But I love Dean. I mean, one of the best chefs and probably, you know, from Florida history. You've ever been to Dean's?
I have not.
Oh,
I've not.
Oh. Listen, you got to go to Jackson Square where the football field is. Right there on the thing. Dean's Restaurant's right there on the corner. And I mean, it is the best food. This is on you, Keith. It's the best food in East Tennessee. It's just fabulous. Best chicken dumplings, best turkey and dressing ever. And it's all made. He's a chef. He's trained. Everybody's got 7 or 8 people there. And Oak Ridgers just live in that place. I mean, you know, you can go to Calhoun's. You can go to Aubrey's. Calhoun's or Aubrey's. But Dean sits up there. It's just as good, if not better. First time we ever had. Every time I ever met you, about 6 months ago, we went to Calhoun's on a Sunday.
We did. We did.
That's right. Keith kind of orientated us to everything, but we got through it.
Yes.
That was a good day. We had a good time that time.
We did.
And I told you, are you sure you want to do this? Remember?
You did.
I mean,
you
it was
did.
the kind of thing, and you've done such a great job. But my point being, we need more restaurants in different areas. We need more retail. Turkey Creek, I owned a commercial building over there in the early 90s, late 80s, when Turkey Creek was a swamp, all weeds. And I kept saying, it's never going to grow, it's never going to grow. And I went back to Pittsburgh and did some other stuff, but it grew. And
so we need that infrastructure, those roads, those type of things, so we can get the houses in there. And then I was at a meeting today where they were talking about rooftops and how rooftops get the businesses to come in, especially the nicer sit-down restaurants.
Define rooftops.
And houses, homes, rooftops.
I was thinking about the restaurants with rooftops.
No. Homes. So you need those people who are going to come there every day, not just the people who are going to get off the interstate at I-75 to come in.
Depends how much traffic there's going them down that interstate.
Yes.
They're valuable.
Yes.
But I agree with you. You do need people that can come in. What's the deal on the chamber, on the new building? Are they talking about building a new building?
Yes.
I think him and Stephanie want to build a new building for tourism.
They are building a new building
Okay.
For tourism. It's going to also have some office space for rental. Sometimes that's
Where
a little they are building it on Main Street. I can't remember the address.
I want that little cabin that tourism was in.
And
I love that building.
Yes. So they're going to sell that property and then use those funds to build the new
Yeah, it's
chamber.
a good time to sell.
Yes. Yes.
We just refinanced it, man. I mean, I've got a house that's down the street in Oak Ridge from where I live, and it was worth about $150,000, old D house, 2 years ago. They just sold it for $324. Now they went in and fixed it up and did a lot of work on it, but 1,800 square feet, $324.
Wow.
That's a lot of money. It's
It
great
is.
to sell, tough to buy back. You know, if you're
It
my
is.
age or you're gone, you're retired, and you don't have a young wife and a 16-year-old because you got to be 50 a day, you know. But if you get, you go get a condo and live somewhere, and it's a good time to trade in and go.
Yes. Yes.
You know, but I've got another 8 years to grind at this, unless the Lord needs a point guard, and then we'll see how that goes. But we'll go around that way. So anyway, I'm excited. I know I keep repeating myself, but I'm really excited about this county commission. I'm excited about young people. I didn't tell my Knoxville story. I told you off the air.
Yes.
In Knoxville, 3 women got elected this year, all 3 Republicans, to the county commission. So now there's 6 women, because there was 2 Dems and an R on there. Now there's 6 women on there and 5 men. First time in probably ever that the women outnumber the men on county commission. So they went in, they voted today, they elected a new chairman. All 6 women blocked up and voted for one of the incumbents, and all the men went the other way. It's coming, folks. It's coming. They used their power. They were smart. They were organized. They were being taken for granted in the day-to-day, and they just said, no longer. So once one started talking, the next one started talking. Before long, it became pretty obvious that they weren't getting. I just think it's coming. I've spoke to none of them. I'm just observing this vote from friends of mine in Knoxville who said, you're not going to believe it, but it went strictly on a gender vote. I don't know if that's totally accurate, but it's pretty obvious that there was some gender emphasis in that vote. And now we have the first Democratic commissioner in Knoxville we've had in 20 years, I think, and We've had women before, but now, so it'll be interesting. I mean, everything's all over the map, and I'm in the business, and I'm all over the state.
Yes.
But it's really interesting. But
I had the opportunity to meet all three.
You did, the
new commissioners.
They're great, aren't they?
Yes.
Kim Frazier's a fireball.
Yes. I really enjoyed meeting Kim Frazier.
She's Sabre plus 10 years. Yeah, I mean, she'll get you.
Very dynamic.
She is very dynamic in that sense. But, it's accountants that run the world, not marketing people, and that's why you got to do a good job for the county and help.
Yes.
And keep everybody balanced. And you're in a kind of a different situation. You've got fireballs on this side and fireballs on this side, and you're going to have to maneuver in the middle and just figure out what's best for your district and for the county.
Absolutely.
But it's always best to analyze your numbers, spend wisely. I said this at the beginning of the show, and I've said it 2 weeks in a row. Internet internet sales are booming.
Yes.
County's getting $300,000 and $400,000 a month. That's $4 million a year that they're getting they never got before. So if you call up Amazon and you buy something off Amazon that you see in Oregon and you order it, 6% is going to Anderson County, 6% is going to Tennessee, and 2 point something to Anderson County.
Yes.
And that's exciting. There's a lot of money. You don't have to spend it. You can save it.
Yes.
So I'm hoping that this commission will take a conservative track and try to reduce some of the $60 million in debt or not expand it, because things tend to be cyclical. When you look as long as I sat behind Abraham Lincoln in grade school, and I'm telling you, they tend to be cyclical, and things change like this. So I hope we get some good. I'm just really excited about you guys and all of you, and I think there's a good combination between the veterans and the 7 or 8 young people. Excited about our judiciary.
Yes.
Very Victoria.
Very excited.
And Matt, and you throw Ryan in there. It's just an exciting time in this game. I know it was early. We brought you on here to talk a little bit so everybody gets to see you. But I know you haven't experienced too much yet. But we'll get you back on after Christmas. And you can explain to me what everybody's doing and everything. You'll be kind of the commission spokesperson for television. Okay. That's how we do it.
All right.
And I really appreciate it. I appreciate your friendship with Sabre. I appreciate all of the people over there and all that they're doing. Anything you want to say?
I think that's about it.
You good?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Just study, Lily. Don't worry about it. Just study. That's our message. Just study, Lily. Everything's good. We're proud of you. That's all we got. Josh Anderson is now the chairman of the commission.
Yes, sir.
Shane is the vice chairman again.
Yes.
And our good friend Robert McCamey is the parliamentarian.
Yes.
Now we're going to get off. Are you on the nominating committee?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Well, we're going to get all our committees assigned here on 13. Thank you for coming on the show. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future. In a world that's changing fast. Because no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing.
The life of every child is precious. If you care for a child or teenager with a disability and have limited income and resources, they may qualify for monthly cash payments through the Supplemental Security Income Program, or SSI. Call Social Security at 1-800-772-1213 or visit ssa.gov/SSI-Kids to learn more. That's ssa.gov/SSI-Kids. Message produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
This is my husband, Alex Hussey. Alex is about 2 weeks away from coming home.
I was playing man in foot patrol, and I stepped on the bomb. Lost my legs and my left hand in an explosion.
And he suffered a severe traumatic brain injury.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
There are so many mountains to climb, and we do it together.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
To watch Alex take on this mountain, that's what this is all about.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Alex has conquered this mountain. That's something he won't forget.
With the